Hi, everybody. I wanted to do a quick video summary of AMD's CES 2022 keynote address. In honor of Team Red, I have set my smart bulbs to red. I'm not sure how well that's going to show up, but it's the effort that counts. Most of you aren't going to care about the bulk of the presentation, but there was a few things I thought were just kind of worthy of mentioning. They started off with the 6000 series mobile processors. It's just a usual upgrade you see generationally, a little bit faster processing, better battery. The major claim was that they're going to add the RDNA 2 architecture, which supposedly is going to double the performance and improve rendering by 69%. Whether that actually happens, you never really know until we start getting the reviews. Next, they presented the RX 6500 XT GPU. I don't really know too much about AMD side of the GPU market, especially with me just kind of recently coming back into the tech side. And I've pretty much always owned NVIDIA, but this is an entry-level card. It's the MSRP is $200. Whether you actually see it at that price is remaining to be seen. But if we do get close to that price, this could potentially be an option, because you're not going to have to worry about crypto miners too much. And, if you're a first-time builder and you're on a budget, or you're just upgrading an older card and you can't get your hands on the one you really want, this is better, something to look into. The release date on that, I think, was January 19th. And I probably wouldn't buy it like day one, unless you're worried about, for some reason, not being able to get it. I'd probably wait for like Gamer Nexus or Jay's 2 Cents or Linus to do a review on that. Sticking with the GPUs, they did also mention that they're going to be updating their graphics card so that virtually any game will be supported. I don't know what that means. I was under the impression most modern games are already supported, but they focused on that for a minute or two, so thought I'd mention that. The next part is actually what I was the most interested in. If you've watched my build video that I'm doing, the series, I'm doing a series actually. I've got 1 and 2 done. But in both of them, I believe I mentioned, I bought the 5900X instead of the 5950X because my plan was to upgrade to the 3D cache version when it got released, which is supposed to be the pinnacle of the AM4 socket. And I bought the 5900X just because if I go to sell that when I buy the other chip, I'll probably get higher percentage of my money back than I would with the 5950. And I figured it was just going to be a few months. But unfortunately, during the presentation, they only mentioned the Ryzen 7 5800X. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to release either the Ryzen 9's 5900X or 5950X with the 3D cache. But it had me a little bit nervous. So when I was eating lunch earlier, I started digging, and I learned something I didn't know. And that is the Ryzen 9's are actually, they have multiple chiplets. So what that means is the Ryzen 7, the 5800X, and I'm just going to double check my notes here. It's a single 8-core chiplet, where the 5900X is 2 6-core chiplets, and the 5950 is 2 8-cores. So it's possible there's some physical limitations there. Because there's much more density there. I think the chip's even a little bit thicker. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. And also they were a little vague about when the release date was, and they just said spring of this year. So that was disappointing because basing off of the rumors online, I was thinking it was going to be, end of January, early February. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see, I guess, with what happens with that. Last but not least is what probably most people are interested in, and that's the new 7000 series, which is the Zen 4 architecture. This is going to incorporate the same 3D cache that we were just talking about. The 3D cache is just allowing them to stack the cache, so you can get more cache on the chip, which that improves almost everything. This is going to be a jump in, or a reduction, I guess I should say, depending on how you look at it, in the nanometer size. So it's jumping from 7 to 5 nanometers. So this is going to require a new socket, the AM5, which means it's going to require a new motherboard. One nice thing is that the new architecture is going to support PCIe Gen 5 and DDR5. Whether those things are worth it, for most people they're not. I mean, honestly, even Gen 4's PCIe is not really worth it. I got it simply because I'm trying to get into the video editing thing, and you're dealing with large files. For most people, if you're a gamer, honestly, I probably wouldn't even upgrade if you're already in the 5000 series. But maybe if you're in the 3000 series, and I would just wait a couple months after it comes out, see how it goes. The only other thing they did is they did like a Halo demo, which is in and of itself disappointing. They were showing it in 1080p. I mean, it looked good. They bragged about the FPS, but didn't say what it was. And then they just said that I can guarantee you that all of the cores are running at 5 gigahertz. Release date, they just said, just as vague as Zen 3 Plus, they just said second half of the year. So, that was pretty much it. There's definitely a lot of fluff in there. And for me personally, a little bit of disappointment. Maybe they're kind of intentionally being vague as a marketing tactic so they can really, come out fast with this stuff and at good pricing to kind of, I don't know, motivate people. But I'm not really sure what's going to happen with the Ryzen 9s and the 3D cache. But at this point, if they're releasing that late summer and the AM5 is coming out, or the Ryzen 7000 series is coming out with the AM5, later in the summer or early fall, it's like, should I wait? But really, is it worth it? And the downside is I would have to upgrade my motherboard as well. So these are all things you guys are going to have to consider as well. I say for most people, you're probably just fine staying where you are. So we'll just kind of see what happens. CES actually starts, well, now it's today because it's after midnight, but it's starting today. This is just a keynote, but we'll kind of see if any other information comes out. And all right, I think that's it. I'd appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. And if you think I missed anything of importance, have any feedback or even just some suggestions on content, please leave a comment. And I really appreciate you watching. Take care.